if I have to put all my money, I'll be putting on Charles Leclerc. Yes, because he's 46 points ahead of Max Verstappen already. It's just been 3 races and Max Verstappen has already had 2 DNFs, so he's already scored a Grand Slam, and I think Charles Leclerc, yes, all in on Charles Leclerc for sure. Hello everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm your host Naren Harwani, and today I'm gonna do a different kind of video. I'm gonna go through the best memes of the 2022 Australian Grand Prix. Now we know that the race wasn't that great. It was kind of boring in a way, we didn't see a lot of overtakes. We saw a few overtakes, yes, but I think the first 2 races have kind of spoiled us for more racing. So I think the first 2 races were way better, definitely, yes. So I would rate this race on a scale of 1 to 10 as 7 maybe. It was quite dramatic, yes. Overall, the race weekend, if we see, it was quite dramatic. We got to see a lot of drama, a lot of action as well. Nicholas Latifi and Stroll crashed in qualifying, being the most talk point, and George Russell on the podium, then with not the best car, definitely. I think Mercedes still has a long way to go. Even Daniel Ricciardo and Alex Albon scoring points, their first points for the 2022 F1 season. Then Max Verstappen DNF and Carlos Sainz DNF as well, guys. I mean, where did that come from? I think Max Verstappen and Red Bull, they need to kind of get their act quite strong. It's their second DNF in 3 races. So we'll straight away get into looking at the review, the memes of the 2022 Australian Grand Prix. And before we start, there was a lot of crowd at the circuit. I think around 4,20,000 F1 fans were at the race circuit in Australia, which is a big number. Yes, I think it's the highest number of F1 fans we've seen at the Australian race circuit. So kudos to that. That's great to see fans back at the racetrack, and hope we continue to see that more often. And we'll get started with it. So yes, when the new track layout was announced, there were 4 DRS zones that are going to be there on the circuit. And after, I think, free practice session 2, just before free practice 3 session was about to start, they changed the number of DRS zones to 3. And Lollipop Man, you all should follow this page. They made a good video about the DRS zone, so we'll just we'll just have a look at that. Just playing that right now. Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc racing against each other. They stop when the DRS zone comes, right? How we saw in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Again, Charles Leclerc takes advantage. Next DRS zone, they again stop, waiting for each other to pass the DRS zone. And that happens once again. So 3 times they cannot stop. And then Fernando Alonso passes them, and he says "silly boys." So quite a funny video Lollipop Man has made. So do check that out. And the race timing, the Australian GP race timing was quite a crazy morning we've had. I think everyone had to wake up early in the morning in UK, in India, except in Australia and Europe as well. Everyone had to wake up really early to watch the race. And there's this meme, waking up early to go to work, and it's a sad face, and waking up early to watch F1, which is just really exciting. And great. It was quite a crazy day for sure. The day, the start of the day, the race has already ended, and there's a lot to look forward to. There's usually a lot to look forward to in a race, right? You start off the day with just going through qualifying highlights, then maybe watch the grid walk as well and see the build up as well. But then this race, it was just directly heading into the grid walk, Martin Brundle grid walk, and just right in time for the race. I was awake right in time for the race. Yeah, even motorsport.com made a meme out of it, like, wake up, let's go, it's race time. And F1 fans in Europe, they're just getting up. So yeah, quite a crazy time. I think that's what F1 is all about. Races, mostly it's at different times, so good fun, definitely, yes. But yeah, I think later in the day race timings are really good, so that we get more time to watch the race build-ups and stuff. And yeah, let's straight away get into qualifying. I think qualifying, it was quite an interesting qualifying. I think maybe qualifying was maybe more exciting than the race, quite possible. So yeah, the most talk point about qualifying was the Nicholas Latifi and the Lance Stroll crash. And it was quite bizarre, to be honest. I don't know how they ended up crashing. Like, in a qualifying session, it's not what's expected of them. But yeah, quite what we not see in qualifying. But it is what it is, and they both ended up crashing, and they're blaming each other. Here's a meme where both of them are blaming each other for who was at fault. But yeah, I think more, according to me, it was Lance Stroll who was at fault than Nicholas Latifi. But yeah, not an ideal. It shouldn't have happened in the first place. Then yeah, one more meme. There's rear mirrors do exist, and Lance Stroll not using them. I think Lance Stroll should have been more careful. I think you have to be more careful 24. When all the time you're on the racetrack, you have to be really careful and ensure that you should let others pass by when they're on the flying laps. Yep, there is this reserve drivers have created this post where they say that I don't have to look at the replay or my mirrors. It was clearly his fault, and Latifi, he's reckless, dangerous, and causes collision. He's stealing my moves. I mean, quite crazy. Quite crazy. I think Latifi's not had the best of the start of the 2022 season. I think he's crashed in all the races, in practice sessions, in qualifying sessions, and I think he needs to pull up his socks for sure. Yes, he needs to get back to his A game and get into Q2 qualifying session 2 and qualifying session 3 as well. Not 3, maybe just qualifying session 2, and maybe try and start scoring points for Williams. So yeah, that was quite a crazy crash that was not expected. Moving forward, we have Fernando Alonso. Oh my god, he was such on a flyer of a lap. Like, possibly he could have finished on P3, P4 in qualifying. Possibly had he completed that lap. I think he was the fastest in sector 2 as well. So, oh my god, that was a crazy lap for sure by Fernando Alonso. Yep, here's a meme. Best quali in years, and hydraulic issues. I think turn 11 is where he crashed and he couldn't he directly went in the gravel trap and ended up colliding with the barrier. So yeah, I think it would have been great to see him in P3, P4, qualifying P3, P4, start the race at the top, and possibly even a podium would have been expected. But yeah, these are just ifs and buts. There are a lot of ifs and buts, but this didn't happen, and this is F1, guys. So yep, very tough weekend for Fernando Alonso, and hope he can maybe learn from this and fight back stronger in the next race. Yep, then moving on to qualifying, we have Sebastian Vettel. I think he didn't have the ideal race weekend at all. This is just his first race of the 2022 F1 season, and not an ideal race weekend at all. I think he was just crashing left, right, center, practice sessions, qualifying sessions. He didn't have a lot of laps as well, and even during the race he crashed. So I think he got a fine as well for driving the scooter. So oh my god, that was quite a race weekend to forget for Sebastian Vettel, and even Aston Martin for that matter. Even Lance Stroll crashed in the race and even qualifying sessions. So not what an ideal race weekend for Aston Martin. They need to forget and just move on to the next race, the Imola Grand Prix. Yep, so coming to the meme, the team have worked so hard. My job now is to deliver 3 pizzas, Pepsi and garlic bread. Sebastian Vettel. And the next is actually he, when he was on the scooter on his way to the pit lane, he's actually he actually has an Uber Eats right behind him. That's quite, I mean, it's just a meme, but yeah, it's quite funny. I think Sebastian Vettel, to be honest, he needs to get his A game back into the sport for sure. Yes, he's a 4-time world champion. Yes, but I think if this continues, this possibly is going to be his last year in F1. I think, and maybe even Aston Martin needs to get him a good car. It's basically both ways. So, I mean, I wouldn't want that. Definitely, I would want Sebastian Vettel to be racing more, but it is what it is. Then, yeah, Sebastian Vettel, but I want to drive the Ferrari, and then his teammate saying, shut up, Seb, and get into the green shit box. Crazy guys. Yep, Haas and Alfa Romeo F1 drivers, when they both get out of Q3, get out into Q2. So basically, it's basically a meme. Kya takleef hai aapko? Basically, yeah, basically Haas and Alfa Romeo, they kind of had a really good start to the 2022 F1 season. First 2 races, both scored points, and now they were not seen in qualifying. They were all 4 drivers who were out qualified in the first qualifying session itself. So definitely not a good race weekend. They could have qualified more ahead and scored more points for the team. So yeah. And yeah, the red flag that was brought out, and Carlos Sainz, he kind of missed setting up his lap time, and even one more flying lap, he kind of made an error. So he kind of qualified P9, quite not where he wants to qualify. He kind of clearly, I think all his interviews, he's clearly said that, he is a contender for the pole position and he wants to win races, but unfortunately we've not seen that yet. There's something or the other happening, and this time luck was not on his side. It was just a couple of meters away when the red flag was waved, so that lap time wasn't counted for him, and he kind of missed setting up a lap, and the next lap he made an error, so he kind of started in P9 and then a race DNF. He I think turn 11 again is where he kind of went on to the gravel trap and he couldn't get out of there. So there is a meme here where he's shooting himself in the head and no caption needed. Crazy. I think he needs to kind of even in his interview he said when the interviewer asked him what are you gonna do to kind of get over this, so he's like I'm gonna get some sleep and maybe by the time I go to sleep I'm gonna be super angry. So I think still the next day is gonna be like that as well for him. So yeah, let's hope he kind of gets more lucky, or possibly gets everything right in an entire race weekend. So yeah, another Carlos Sainz meme. Carlos Sainz fans before the race hoping for a recovery drive, and Sainz fans going back to sleep after lap 1. So not an ideal start as well. He didn't have the best of starts. I think he changed the steering wheel just before the race and he kind of went into anti-stall, if I'm not mistaken, and he kind of lost quite a lot of positions at the race start. So a weekend to forget. Yep, for Carlos Sainz, a weekend to forget. And coming to DNFs, another DNF that we witnessed was Max Verstappen. Oh my god, Max Verstappen is second DNF in 3 races. Red Bull powertrains, I think they need to kind of again get their act really strong, and this is not, I think it's gonna cost them a lot in the championship. Definitely 2 DNFs in 3 races, that the first 3 races it's not what is expected, and it's advantage for the other teams. If they are DNFing, then Mercedes are making the most of their DNFs, and they're kind of scoring points out of these races. And right when Mercedes will kind of get their act right, that's when it's going to be really difficult for possibly Red Bull as well. So it's going to be really difficult for Red Bull to score points when Mercedes get their act right and they're at the front of the grid as well, fighting for points. So there's this meme, Red Bull engine, Red Bull engine, where it's a V6 and all the cylinders, they are basically Red Bulls added. So, oh my God, quite angry. I think Max Verstappen was quite angry after the race. Definitely, he must be a world champion, reigning world champion of the 2021 F1 season. So let's hope Red Bull powertrains and Red Bull Racing get their act right and kind of fight back stronger in the next race, the Imola Grand Prix. And coming on to the next one, what was Perez saying to his engineer? What was the problem with Max car on the team radio? And Red Bull his engineer is like, it's not relevant for our car. So definitely, I think any driver would want to know, what was his teammate's issue, so that he doesn't face the same issue. And the engineer didn't tell him anything, it's nothing to worry about, which I think is good as well, for sure. Then coming on to the next one, Alex Albon. Oh my God, what a strategy they pulled out. 57 laps. He was on the harder set of tires. He was out on the circuit for 57 laps, and right when he pitted on the last lap and ended up scoring points as well for Williams, his first points for the 2022 F1 season. And he started P20, I think, and he started P20 and he finished in P10. So quite an interesting race for Alex Albon. And here's his meme where he kind of is flexing. He's flexing. I think he should flex, definitely. Yes, why not? Scoring points, and look forward to quite an exciting season with Williams. Coming to McLaren, no wonder that McLaren's team are doing well during free practice. They finally changed their design of their 2022 car, and and they've kind of shown the Lego car. So McLaren did have the best of testing. Daniel Ricciardo tested positive for COVID, and then Lando Norris was doing all the testing. He faced issues. I think the first testing was good. The second testing is where they faced brake issues, and there's a lot of poisoning that they're facing as well. So I think they got possibly the setup right this time round, and probably because of the circuit, and it suited their car, and they kind of, both of them finished in P5, P6 if I'm not mistaken, and then both of them scored points for Team McLaren. I think that's really good. Lando Norris has already scored points. I think Daniel Ricciardo scored his first points of the 2022 F1 season. It's good to kick off scoring points in his home race. I think the crowd there was supporting him like crazy. I think it's always good to score points on your home race, guys, in the home race. So overall a great weekend for Team McLaren, and hope they continue scoring points in the next races as well. Coming on to the next meme, which is Leclerc has the fastest lap and Leclerc to his engineer. Want to see that again? So there's this team radio where Leclerc went on to team radio, say like, okay, do we have the fastest lap? Can I set it again? And his race engineer was like, no, we already have the fastest lap. We do not need to set it again because no one would be able to take that. So quite an interesting radio message by Charles Leclerc. I think he's kind of even his, I think, Saudi Arabian Grand Prix or Bahrain Grand Prix, when he was on the last lap, he kind of joked around saying that, kind of losing power, and it's just a joke with his race engineers. That happened in 2019 if I'm not mistaken. So quite an interesting race for Charles Leclerc. He's got a Grand Slam. Basically, a Grand Slam is where a driver gets onto the pole position. He sets the fastest lap of the race, leads the race from the start to the end, and ends up winning the race as well. So that's an F1 Grand Slam, and he scored his first Grand Slam in F1. So quite interesting to see that. And I think the last Grand Slam in F1 with Ferrari was I think 2010, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so those were the memes of the 2022 Australian Grand Prix. Hope you all enjoyed this video, and yes, to sum it off, I think Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen, that's the battle to look out for. Yes, but if I have to put all my money, I'll be putting on Charles Leclerc. Yes, because he's 46 points ahead of Max Verstappen already. It's just been 3 races, and Max Verstappen has already had 2 DNFs, so he's already scored a Grand Slam, like, you know. And I think Charles Leclerc, yes, all in on Charles Leclerc for sure. And Ferrari, Charles Leclerc, they look quite strong. Yes, and hope Carlos Sainz gets his act right as well. I think it'll be great to see him also battle it out in the front with Charles Leclerc, because even he's got a really good car underneath him. So looking forward to the upcoming races and the upcoming battle, which is in 2 weeks time at Imola. I'm your host Naren Harwani, guys, and see you all soon. Hope you guys have a fantastic day, and if you all did like this video, please do like, share and subscribe, and see you all soon, guys.